So whether you are for human migration or against it, this video is for you.
Reframing the debate on migration. Faced with this reality, the question is not whether migration is right or wrong. The question is how can we make it work best to support prosperity and development for countries of destination, countries of origin, and the migrants themselves.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Starkey Forum Said. So I want to jump into this with you guys just a little bit deeper, okay? Let's start with visas. They see you, booger. Let's start with visas in the United States. So the USA is a little different than most countries. We don't specifically list job skills that you have to be able to get a visa. In other words, the USA does not have a list of jobs that would specifically give someone applying for a visa a better chance. So we're not doing it based on a score, which I think we probably need to rethink that, you guys. Because here's the problem. We have a tremendous illegal immigration issue going on in the United States as of today. And the problem is we are not using jobs and skills as a good way to filtrate through all these people.
It is time to rethink migration. Over much of the world, birth rates are plunging and populations are aging. This means that there will be fewer workers to support older people and growth. And this means that most countries will increasingly need to rely on migration. Making the most of migration through smart policies is essential for global development and a prosperous future. And the private sector will play an important role in designing and supporting these smart policies. An unprecedented demographic shift. The demographic shift outlined in the World Bank's World Development Report 2023, Migrants, Refugees, and Societies paints a stark picture. High-income countries are aging quickly. The share of people over 65, already at a record high of 19% in 2022, is expected to reach 29% by mid-century.
We know that here in the Western civilizations, we are not repopulating fast enough to keep our economy stable. That is a provable fact. Pretty sure Elon Musk brought this to everyone's attention about 5 years ago, and he got land blasted for it. We do not have an overpopulation of the world problem. We have in higher income countries a reduction in birth rate, which means, like this clip just told you, our aging population is going up and our working age population is too low to sustain that many people moving out of work and into retirement. It's going to turn our economy upside down. That's what's going to happen. But the problem with mass illegal immigration is the fact that you are not vetting the people coming through. You are not checking for health for the people coming through. And you do not know what skills they have and whether or not we actually have a need for that skill. Let me put it to you this way. If you were putting together a football team, just hang in there with me, you wouldn't have 10 quarterbacks. You wouldn't have everybody on defense and nobody in an offensive position because you would simply lose. Well, that is a problem that we are now facing in America. We have way too many people without the skills for jobs that we actually have a need for. That is what they're talking about when they're saying private and public sectors will have to work together and solve the problem. Well, basically, the only way to solve the problem is start more companies to provide jobs for these people who only have a skill set or no skills at all. Now, I'm not going to be ugly, but I am going to be factual. People coming out of Venezuela, very few of them actually have anything above high school as an education.
Well below the 2.1 needed for population replacement. Many middle-income countries, traditionally a source of migrants, will need to seek out immigrants to sustain their economies. We will see more and more competition for migrants, and many countries will be both a source and a destination. This is where the debate often becomes confused because we use a single word, migration, to refer to distinct types of movements that have different impacts and call for different policy responses. Labor economics shows that we all gain when migrants bring skills that are a strong match with the needs of the destination economy, and the policy goal should be to maximize such gains. International law obliges host countries to offer international protection to refugees, but when refugees do not have in-demand skills, there is a cost to doing this, and the challenge is to manage this cost, to reduce it and to share it.
Now, in case you were unaware of this, you're actually listening to an article that was written by the World Economic Forum on migration. And as you hear them say it themselves, bringing in aliens into your country without the appropriate work skills will be a problem. And it's up to the country to mitigate that. And unfortunately, we have a country with wide open borders.
How is the World Economic Forum supporting refugees? Since the 24th of February 2022, over 6 million refugees from Ukraine have crossed borders into neighboring countries. The war is widely recognized as the worst conflict in Europe since World War II and adds to the estimated 31 million people worldwide who have been displaced across borders as a result of persecution, conflict, violence, and human rights violations. The most difficult challenges arise when people move seeking opportunities but do not bring skills that are in demand in their destination countries.
Stop right here. I'm going to need you to hit that like button. I'm going to need you to comment. I'm going to need you to hit the notification bell. Maybe become a member of our channel, but most importantly, please share this video. Also, Miss Dorothy Rogers, thank you for this beautiful scarf that just came in the mail. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for the very kind gift. It was very, very thoughtful, and I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you. All right, you guys, listen up. Listen to this next clip from the WEF, what they're saying. The problem comes when you have mass migration and no one has the skill sets that the host country is in need of. What happens to those illegal aliens? Well, it's a backlash politically, financially, in the communities they're in, because if you can't put them to work, well, idle hands are the devil's playground.
These migrants often suffer and political backlash is common. The need for such movements should be reduced.
These migrations should be reduced. Guys, it's not racist or fascist or uncaring to point out that you cannot allow millions of people with no skill set that can't speak the language into a country and expect that to end well for everyone. Now, I'm hearing reports out of New York City that they are going to reduce the skill set and experience needed to work with our elderly and our mentally challenged people so they can get more of these people to work. So you're going to take a mentally challenged person and an elderly person and give them a less skilled, less experienced, non-English speaking worker. And how is that supposed to work out for both the client and the provider? Let me explain something. You cannot just create jobs out of nothing, and you cannot reduce the requirements to fill a job for an equity hire. You guys hear me talking about that all the flipping time. It is not the elderly or the disabled person's fault that you thought it was okay to travel thousands of miles and then break into a country and then demand work. It's not their fault, and they should not be stuck with you because somebody wanted to hire you because your skin is a certain color, okay? That's ridiculous. This is not going to end well, you guys. There is a reason people have to go to school and have experience to fill certain positions. There are reasons for that. This is getting out of hand.
Including through development. Bring in the private sector. Smart migration policies are about strengthening the match of migrant skills and attributes with the needs of the destination societies, so that everyone gains. The private sector can play an important role in ensuring a tight match and allowing migrants to contribute their full potential to the economy. Decent jobs generally lead to a smooth integration into the labor force and society. Employers can help policymakers identify and define labor needs. They often know best where shortages are, where skills will be needed, and what kind of high and low skilled workers are most sought after. Several countries have put in place consultative bodies in which employers, as well as labor unions or local authorities, help identify strong skills matches. The private sector can also play a key role in making migration work for countries of origin. More competition and technological innovations can reduce the costs of sending remittances. That reduces poverty by allowing workers to send more of their incomes to families and communities at home. And we can go one step further. As most countries age, there will be an increased competition for talents and workers. The challenge for many countries, and for many businesses, is to attract people with the skills they need. The private sector can play an important role in that respect. For example, global skills partnership schemes involve governments and the private sector in higher income destination countries financing skill building programs in origin countries, with graduates offered the opportunity of a work visa. This smooths the movement of skilled labor across countries and their inclusion in the labor market. Well managed, it can also reduce the risks of brain drain by building skills that benefit the domestic labor market. For example, the Philippines rapidly expanded its nursing education programs in private institutions to meet strong demand in destination countries. For every nurse that emigrated, 9 new nurses were licensed and stayed, ultimately boosting the net number of nurses in the country. It is of course key to involve the private sector in such schemes so that they remain demand and market driven.
And before I leave you, I sent an email to Senator Kennedy today for his nonsense with supporting this bill to give Ukraine so much more money. You might like your politicians, because you guys know I actually did a video on Kennedy. I kind of like him. I think he's hilarious. I do not like what he's doing with the current way he's voting. So you have to get on to them sometimes. They are representing you. You have got to make your voice heard. Okay? God bless you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm still a little under the weather. As you can see, I'm swelling a little bit here. Accidentally split my incision wide open and bone is exposed all through there. So I'm having a little bit of trouble actually talking today. I guess I sound like I'm muddled because I cannot enunciate correctly without putting pressure here. I'm actually missing our private school meeting that we had, mainly because I wanted to spend time with Keaton and I really didn't want to leave my house today. Just feeling a little bit under weather. Please keep us in your prayers. My son is still waiting for his paperwork to be deployed to the border. We're still going. We're waiting for him to be there before we go. If you would like to support that, you can Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Guys, you can hit a super thanks on this video and that money will come in with our next check from YouTube. Look, watching the videos before, after, and during these YouTube videos will actually help us make more money. So there's 1,000 ways that you can help us, but the most important is pray for us. Pray for discernment for me. A lot of people ask me, how do I keep finding all this information? Guys, God literally drops it in my lap. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I'm a very busy person. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, God will just hand it to me. And then I know it's time for me to bring it to you. So God bless you. I love all of you. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
As we look ahead to a future where migration will play an increasingly important role in supporting global growth and development, we need to rethink how we understand and manage it. If done right, migration has the potential to be a force for prosperity and greater opportunities for all.